William Tennant High School, the neutral site of today's District 1 semifinal matchup between the third-seeded Pennsbury Falcons and the Norristown Eagles, the 2 seed. I'm Mark Kolodinsky. This is NASD TV. We've got a packed house here at William Tennant and a trip to the District 1 finals, the championship for the District 1 bracket, is on the line tonight.
February 19th right now, so I got like 15 more days. 7th. That's when I'm eligible. I'm probably not going to get to like mid-March. End of April. End of March.
If I stand up, will I be in the way?
Yeah.
This really sucks.
Now we'll listen in to the public address announcer to hear the starting lineups, and then we'll hear the national anthem, and I'll be back for the play-by-play.
Who's the guy that can go pro? What? Wait, what?
Mike's on.
I'm gonna be on TV.
game.
Oh, yeah. What you mean?
Terrell Gardner.
Let me get in the circle.
Yeah. What? It's the fucking national anthem. Shut up.
Well, we're just about ready to tip it off. We've got a packed house here at William Tennant High in what should be an unbelievable matchup of two top 10 Pennsylvanian teams. The Pennsbury Falcons are led into this game by their superstar, Dalton Pepper. He is coming off of a 26-point game in a win over Ridley, and he averages 22.5 points per game on the year. Norristown, if they want to win this game, containing Dalton Pepper obviously is going to be a key factor. For Norristown, of course, a very balanced offensive attack, but as Quentin Watson wins the tap, Khalif Wyatt leads them 15.2 points per game on the regular season, and the Eagles control the tip. Here's Sheldon Mayer. Goes to James Ramsey. Back out to Khalif Wyatt. Goes to Mayer. Back to Wyatt. It was tipped, but he gains control. Stops and pops from the free throw line. It was tipped, and it goes into the hands of the Falcons, but it's knocked away. The Eagles could not get on top of it, though. And coming up with the ball is Jesse Krasna for Pennsbury, but the Eagles got in there and forced a tie-up. The possession arrow goes towards Pennsbury, though, so they will receive possession. Here's Eddie DeRugaris with the ball. Finds Jesse Krasma, who drives. Now goes to Pepper. Dalton Pepper being stuck by James Ramsey, one of Norristown's best, if not the best, defensive perimeter player for them. Pepper goes to DeRugaris, who is Pennsbury's second leading scorer, and he's covered by Russell Graham. Drives, tried to pass it, but it went off of a Norristown foot, so Pennsbury will inbound. No score, we've played a minute. Pennsbury with the basketball. Here's a corner three, up and no good. The rebound, tapped and snatched by Khalif Wyatt. Here comes the Eagles now. Graham. Hands off to Sheldon Mayer, who will look to set it up. Mayer averaging 5.2 points per game on the regular season. A distributor at the point guard position, more than a scorer. Here's Watson to Ramsey. Back to Mayer once again. He'll drive and now go back out to Wyatt. A nice dish to Graham, who takes the open jumper, and he makes it. Russell Graham for two, just inside the arc. So Norristown able to score the first points of the game. Here's Eddie DeRugaris. Stops, goes back out, and now finds Marcus Healy, but now it's back into the hands of Krasna. Here's Krasna out to Eddie DeRugaris. And now the ball finally in the hands of Dalton Pepper, who drives, puts up a layup, and got it. A lot of contact on the play. Russell Graham was under the basket attempting to defend, but Dalton Pepper scores inside, he scores outside. A tremendous player at the high school level. Here's Sheldon Mayer. Tie game at 2, 5:40 to go in the first. Here's Mayer. Finds Graham. Over to Ramsey. Back out to Graham. And now to Wyatt. The Eagles working it around, and now Wyatt drives, puts up a shot. It's no good. And they call a foul on the play as Ramsey tried to get the rebound, and Pennsbury will get the ball. So here is Jesse Krasnick. The Eagles not able to get to the basket on either of their first 2 possessions, having to settle for jumpers, one of which was good by Graham, but if they want to have any consistency offensively, they're going to have to find good shots. As Dalton Pepper missed the long 3, the putback was missed, and now Sheldon Mayer comes away with the ball. He's got Wyatt ahead, does not try to make that tough pass though. Now here's Mayer driving and kicking out to Graham, pulls up for 3, and it goes down for Russell Graham. Russell Graham with all 5 Norristown points. Here's Pepper trying to answer back. Here's Krasna swinging it over, putting up a shot, and good for 3 was Marcus Healy. So the teams trade threes, and now Norristown will once again have the ball in a tie game. Sheldon Mayer will look to set it up. He's guarded by Eddie DeRugaris, and now goes to Khalif Wyatt. Wyatt goes to Watson. Now Ramsey. Back to Graham. And now he'll drive, go back out to Ramsey, who takes the open 3. Doesn't go. Yes, it does. That 3 off the rim. Looked like it was just going to be a miss, but it found the backboard and found the bottom of the net. We've played half of a quarter, and the Eagles have the 8-5 lead. That pass inside and blocked by Watson, but a foul. So taking a trip to the line will be Justin Bruton, the 6'2" senior forward. Quentin Watson looked like a clean block from where I was able to see it, but the refs said that Quentin Watson got a piece of Justin, so he'll shoot. The first Bruton free throw is up and no good, rimming in and out. So Norristown contains the 3-point lead. Justin Bruton will get one more. He puts it up, and it is long, no good. Got his own miss, now drives, puts it up, and got it. Justin Bruton 0 for 2 from the line, but able to get his own miss on the lone rebound and put it back up and in for 2. Here's Graham, putting up a floater in the lane and getting it. Russell Graham III is up to 7 points now. Justin Bruton was able to get the offensive rebound on that last possession. And Pennsbury does not have a lot of size on Norristown, and they certainly don't have athleticism, as Mayer relentless in trying to get the steal. Oh, and he got it! Trying to poke the ball away from Dalton Pepper. Dalton Pepper thought he had it back, kind of nonchalantly tried to pull it back in, but Sheldon Mayer relentless in pursuit, able to knock it out of bounds off of him. Off of Pepper, that is. So great hustle by Sheldon Mayer. Goes to Ramsey. Dish to Wyatt. Looked at a 3, but now drives. Gets the shorter 2. It doesn't go, not close for him. And the rebound for the Pennsbury Falcons. Here comes Pepper. Dalton Pepper with a lot of speed puts up a wild shot. It's not close. And a foul on the play. Dave Brown, the Pennsbury center, was able to draw it. And Pennsbury will keep the ball. The long inbound pass is now in the hands of Dalton Pepper. He's averaging 28 points per game in the playoffs. Here he is now taking the deep three. It's good for Dalton Pepper. Wow. That's why he's considered one of the best players in the state. He's got that unbelievable range. He's also got good size at 6'5" as a guard. And also some pretty good athleticism. Here's Mayer, puts it up and puts it in. Sheldon Mayer with a rare shot, but he makes it. Sheldon Mayer very efficient out there. Does not turn the ball over, does not take bad shots and miss them. A great man to fill the point guard position on this Norristown team. So here's Eddie DeRugaris. Had it stripped by Graham. Here comes the Eagles with numbers. Graham had it poked away. And number 22, Eddie DeRugaris, was able to recover a loose ball from Graham, but was out of bounds when he did it. He could have easily taken a step back in and then picked up that ball, but not a very heads-up play. A little bit too relentless was Eddie DeRugaris. Maurice Briggs is going to give Quentin Watson a rest. They share time at center. The inbound pass goes to Briggs. Stands at 6'5" and averaged 7.9 points per game on the regular season. Wyatt gets a baseline two. Couldn't get it. Khalif Wyatt struggling early, not hitting his jump shots. Fortunately, Russell Graham has picked up the slack with his 7 points. He's got 7 of Norristown's 12. Here's driving and now kicking out to DeRugaris. Didn't get it, but they call a foul. Khalif Wyatt hit DeRugaris well after he got that shot off, but they still call the shooting foul. So it's actually not DeRugaris, it's actually Brad Fisher. So he's going to shoot 3. It's also the second on Khalif Wyatt, so he's got to play smart now and not pick up another cheap one. In fact, he may leave the game here. So Brad Fisher is going to shoot 3. He can give Pennsbury the lead from the line if he sinks them all. It's 12-10 with a minute and a half left to go in the first quarter. Brad Fisher hit the first. Dalton Pepper just has that, or he actually has 5 points now. So he's taken some pretty tough shots, and Brad Fisher misses the second. He's taken a couple of long threes. He's made one. And when he's driven inside into the paint and put up some crazy lips, Dalton Pepper does have the 5 early points, but he's taken a lot of shots, and some of them not the best shot selection. Meanwhile, Khalif Wyatt on the other side for Norristown has been getting jump shots, so that's what he does. But they have not fallen for him today as Brad Fisher missed the third. He goes 1 of 3 from the line. I believe they call a foul on Pennsbury here. They do. So Norristown's going to take the ball. A minute and a half exactly to go now, and Norristown holding the 12-11 advantage. Here's Graham. He's been Norristown's leading scorer today by far. Gets the ball to Briggs, and now to Jared Smart, who's into the game for the first time. Goes to Graham. Now here's Mayer, back to Graham. He's a threat to shoot or drive. He'll pass here, though, to Ramsey, who drives inside, puts it up. Couldn't get it. The rebound from Mayer, puts it back up, couldn't get it. This one's being battered around, and 6'4" Dave Brown comes away with it. 50 seconds to go now in the quarter, 12-11 Norristown. Here's Jesse Krasner. Gets it out to Dante Devine. And now Dalton Pepper jacking up a 3. It doesn't go, but they call another foul. Jared Smart can't believe the call. Neither can the Norristown fans. And there's a lot of them that have come out here to support their Eagles today. It's a little bit of a tic-tac call, if you will, but they're going to send Dalton Pepper to the line. And he's a good bet to hit 3. So Dalton Pepper, the 6'5" junior guard / forward, hits the first of 3. He's going to go to one of 4 schools next year to play, or in 2 years, excuse me, since he's a junior. But he's going to go to one of 4 Division I schools. Seton Hall, Villanova, Miami, and West Virginia are his choices right now, as Dalton Pepper makes his second. And depending on how his college career goes, he could even have enough talent to play on the next level. Widely considered one of the top 100 players in high school basketball in the country. And unsurprisingly, he's able to hit all 3 of his free throws and give Pennsbury the 2-point lead. Norristown will try to answer. 33 seconds to go in the quarter. Oh, and coming out of nowhere was Dante Devine to try to get a steal, but he knocked it out of bounds. So here's Mayer now. Khalif Wyatt not in the game with 2 fouls. Struggled when he was in, but it's been Russell Graham and his 8 points that have given Norristown its offensive production today. Oh, and Sheldon Mayer dribbled the ball off of himself, and it's out of bounds, Pennsbury ball. Looked like it was knocked away by a Pennsbury player, but the refs pointing to the Pennsbury direction. Norristown getting some tough breaks from the officials this period. Here is Eddie DeRugaris. Pennsbury should take the last shot here. 8 seconds left. Here's DeRugaris. He lost it. It's picked up by DeRugaris, though. Tried to make a pass, couldn't get it. James Ramsey comes there with a steal, but there's not nearly enough time for any kind of shot. So the Norristown Eagles will have to settle for completing the first quarter with a 2-point deficit. The score at the end of 1. The Pennsbury Falcons 14. The Norristown Eagles 12. So Dalton Pepper has 8 points now. He has been impressive thus far with his long-range shooting. And I mean long range. He takes NBA distance threes and makes them. And that's a very dangerous weapon that the Norristown defense is going to have to adjust to. The thing about Pepper, though, is that he has a lot of speed and a lot of size, so he'll drive right by you and score in the paint. James Ramsey defending him and doing as well as one could against a player as talented as Pepper. Of course, Dalton Pepper is an enormous percentage of Pennsbury's offense. For Norristown, Khalif Wyatt's their #1 guy in terms of offense, but they can spread the ball around. Russell Graham averaged 12.6 per game on the regular season. Watson and Briggs are both over 7, so they can score in other ways, and Wyatt has 0 points in the first quarter, yet Norristown is still down by just 2, so that's on display right now. Sheldon Mayer trying to run the play, gets it to Smart. He'll go back out to Mayer, but he threw it away. Can they save it from a backcourt violation? No, they can't. It's out of bounds, actually, and the Pennsbury Falcons will take over. Maurice Briggs will come into the game. They'll have Briggs and Watson in the game at the same time as Jared Smart goes to the bench. So it's Ramsey, Graham, Mayer, and then Briggs and Watson. There's Dalton Pepper. Now Jesse Krasner finds Pepper for 3. It's well short, an air ball. And Quentin Watson able to wrestle away the rebound. Here's Graham now. He'll go back out beyond the arc and now go to Sheldon Mayer. The fans chanting air ball after that Dalton Pepper miss. The fans are very into this game. We've got a tremendous atmosphere. Here's Mayer driving by a man and now having it knocked out of bounds, but it was off of the Eagles. We've played 1 minute in the second quarter. It's still a 14-12 game in favor of the Falcons. Here is Eddie DeRugaris to bring the ball up for Pennsbury. Outside of Pepper, no Falcon has more than 3 points, or even more than 1 basket for that matter, and that one's out of bounds, but off of the Pennsbury Falcons. Paul Savage will come into the game for Sheldon Mayer. And Dave Brown will enter the game for Justin Bruton on the Pennsbury side. So they'll inbound the ball to Pepper. Working on Quentin Watson. Couldn't make the post shot. It's not close. And that ball's out of bounds off of Dave Brown of Pennsbury, so Norristown will get the ball. Dalton Pepper, of course, he's going to take his shots, and he should, because he has a ton of talent. but if he keeps putting up bad shots like that aren't close, it's really going to hurt this team. Because he can score 20 points, but if he takes around 30 shots, it's not good. It's inefficient. Here's Paul Savage now, defended by Jesse Krasner. Finds Russell Graham. Russell Graham will drive, stop. Dalton Pepper's defending him. And now he gets the ball back. Fakes a pass, puts up a shot. It's in and out. The rebound saved by Briggs off of Pennsbury. And now it's taken by James Ramsey, and they call a whistle and give the ball to Pennsbury. I don't know why. I believe they're going to call out of bounds. James Ramsey appeared to be clearly in bounds from my vantage point, but they give the ball to Pennsbury inexplicably. Vontae Shippen into the game for the Eagles. The long inbound pass to Pepper, it's deflected away. And now the Eagles have numbers. Here's Ramsey by himself, got it. That ties the game at 14. And now Pennsbury Falcons able to control the inbound pass as it nearly got away. Here is Eddie DeRugaris. And finally, Norristown able to get a call as they call a moving pick away from the ball. They got Dave Brown on it, so the Eagles finally able to get some kind of a break. On that play just a few moments ago, the ball was saved by Briggs off of Eddie DeRugaris, and then James Ramsey picked it up. They said his foot was on the baseline, and a lot of controversy there as it didn't look like it was. So here's Paul Savage. Puts up a wild shot. It's actually a pass to Briggs. Now a three for Ramsey off the glass and no good. A rebound for Norristown and Paul Savage. Gets Pepper in the air and then is able to get the pass to Graham. Russell Graham still is 7 points. And here's a Ramsey. I'll get it to Shippen. Back out to Graham. He's been quiet since his huge first quarter. Now Ramsey driving, dishing it to Briggs. Briggs puts it up. It's no good. Body foul. Maurice Briggs, not extremely strong from the line, but he's able to knock him down occasionally, and it's good to see him getting to the line and with a chance to get Norristown some points. So you see Norristown out-rebounding Pennsbury, and that's huge for them because, again, Pennsbury and Norristown's size are somewhat even. Neither team has a player over 6'5", as Briggs misses the first of two. But Norristown certainly is more athletic, better speed, better jumping ability than Pennsbury. So that should definitely help them win the rebounding battle, and that'll be key in this game. It's going to be Norristown's half-court game, or Norristown's fast break game, excuse me, as Briggs makes the second of two, against Pennsbury's half-court game, as they like to play in the half-court more and rely on their shooting rather than their speed, which is what Norristown likes to do. 5 minutes to go in the half. It's a 15-14 Norristown lead. Here's Eddie DeRugaris getting out to Dante Devine. Back out to Brad Fisher. Back to Devine, who has a step on Savage. Now goes to Krasner. Back to Devine for three. It's no good. The rebound for Briggs. Just like we were talking about the rebounding, Justin Bruton, 6'2", and Maurice Briggs 6'5", but Maurice Briggs can out-jump him easily, so it's exactly what I was talking about. Now here's Ramsey. Skip pass over to Graham. Back to Ramsey. Back to Graham. And now into the corner for Savage. Russell Graham finds Ramsey. Driving, putting up a shot from the foul line. It's well short, and it's rebounded by Brad Fisher. Long pass ahead to Devine. And now it's in the hands of Krasner. Dalton Pepper guarded by James Ramsey. Let's see if they can get him the ball. They do. Let's see what he does with it. He gets a pick. And now hands it back off to Krasner. James Ramsey, a nice job on Pepper there. He needs to keep that up. Here's Krasner. Goes over to Pepper. The crowd wants a walk, but Pepper puts up a two. It's no good. Once again going to the ground looking for the foul. Here comes Savage. puts it up and in. Paul Savage, a timeout called by Pennsbury. And you know what helped create that easy layup for Paul Savage? It was Pennsbury's Dalton Pepper sitting on the ground trying to attract a foul call and not getting it. And that's the second or third time we've seen Dalton Pepper take a shot and fall to the ground looking for a foul instead of trying to get back and play some defense. And there, instead of a 2-on-2, Norristown had a 2-on-1, and they were able to cash in with Paul Savage, his first basket of the game. Dalton Pepper with 8 points thus far, but he's taken a lot of shots. Has not been extremely efficient. He will sit down on the bench now, though, so Norristown will have a chance to extend their 3-point lead. Khalif Wyatt still sits down, though, as he has 2 fouls early in this game. Here's Eddie DeRugaris. He's perhaps Pennsbury's best offensive player on the floor right now, with Pepper on the bench. Here's Krasna. Goes back to DeRugaris, covered by Graham. Could not get by him. He got a steal. Here they come with numbers. Gets it to Smart. Puts it up. Doesn't get it. The tap by Briggs goes down. That one hung up on the rim for a while, but went down for Maurice Briggs, who's now got 3 points in the game. So Dalton Pepper is going to check into the game at the next timeout. But Norristown gets another steal. Here comes Graham. Watch out. Here's Briggs. The lob. Couldn't get it, but a putback for Russell Graham. 21-14. Timeout called. And the Norristown Eagles go on a little 4-0 run while Dalton Pepper's out of the lineup, which adds to their overall run of 7-0. They now lead 21-14 with 2 minutes and 41 seconds to go in the second quarter. Chance of undefeated rain down from the crowd. And of course, Norristown 24-0 during the regular season, then winning their first 3 playoff games.
West Virginia. Yo, do you know who Bob Huggins is? Jim said he's in there.
So let's take a look at what both of these teams did to get here. Speaking of Norristown's undefeated season, Norristown had a first-round date with Hatboro Horsham. Were able to blow them out 80-51, which moved them on to Glen Mills, where they won by 9. Then finally played Downingtown West, where they earned a hard-fought 68-64 victory. And now here they are at William Tennant playing Pennsbury. So here is Eddie DeRugaris. Dalton Pepper is back in the game, and he's down low right now. Let's see if they try to get him the ball in the post. DeRugaris instead goes out to Brad Fisher. Now back to DeRugaris and into the hands of Krasna. Now Dalton Pepper in the post. Doubled, put it up anyway, and was blocked by Shippen. So here comes Russell Graham. The Eagles in the middle of a 7-0 run. And a palming violation, I believe, on Russell Graham. So an ugly turnover there, but boy, Dalton Pepper has really forced the issue today, as he's putting up shots in double teams. He's putting up shots from well beyond the arc. And I know he made one, but that shot's not going to go down consistently. And if you're Dalton Pepper, you have to get yourself some easier shots. And if they're not there, then you should look to set up your teammates, because if the defense is 100% focused on Pepper, then there's going to be other guys open. Pennsbury yet to score in the second quarter. And the foul called against Jesse Krasna, so the Pennsbury Falcons will just inbound. It's the 5th team foul on Norristown. Paul Savage called for his first personal. Let's see what they do off the inbound pass. Here's Pepper, guarded closely by Ramsey. Now it goes back to John Ryan Wolf. Now back to Krasma. Inside to Dave Brown. Working the post, couldn't get it, it was short. The rebound. They call a foul on the rebound against Dalton Pepper, I believe.